What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of Dribble and Disciple. Super excited to sit down with two good friends of mine, Solomon Hudson, Jason Teniyuki, two dudes who I love talking hoops with, playing basketball with, two dudes that have really helped me grow in my faith. And yeah, excited to talk hoops and uh, talk about talk about faith, talk about Jesus on this podcast. So, you fellas like to introduce yourself or anything, or?
Um, I'm Solomon, Murph's longtime friend, and I'm just happy to be here to talk hoops, talk faith, and support you.
Jason. Also, I wouldn't say like long time, but it's kind of getting there because since high school, we're like 6 years removed from high school, or I'm 6 years removed from high school. So I've known you for a little bit now.
Yeah,
He is my accountability partner in faith, someone that I go to for prayer. Yeah.
appreciate that, bro. Yeah, hey, iron sharpens iron, man. Um, but yeah, definitely excited to get into talking hoops, and like this podcast, I think is a great example of like how important fellowship is in terms of like growing in your faith. I think that's one of the keys that's like helped me grow in my faith a ton. So just like these two guys, talking to them about anything, I may be struggling with in my faith, and in my walk and trying to grow in my relationship with Jesus. These guys have been here for me for, whether it's shooting them a text, shooting like having a conversation. These guys helped me grow a lot. So excited to have them on. Um, yeah, we're gonna start off with some NBA talk. So we're a month into the season already. It's been flying. Um, Guys, who are your favorite players or favorite player? I got two I'm going to talk about, but favorite players you guys have seen play so far this year.
Me? I was gonna say you could go first
All right.
because I really had to think about it for real. Because
All right.
there's a couple.
Oof. All right. I'm gonna say my first is going to be James Harden. One, because I just loved the fluidity of his game, and I loved his transition from being a pure scorer to being a playmaker, like pure scorer hybrid. Like he's like a lot of people are like, oh, James Harden needs the ball to function, but it's not necessarily true if you watch like a lot of those Clippers games. Like he'll space out in the corner, make the right decisions, and this is really cool watching a vet like still be able to do what he was doing in 2018 when he was averaging like what 60-40 for that stretch and like just the whole season. It's like when everyone's like talking about the Unks coming back and like producing this year, like he's one of the Unks that like I love to watch. So James Harden would be number one. And number two is actually Aaron Gordon. He is I think he's gonna be an all-star this year, I can't lie. Like watching the games and watching him have confidence in shooting, watching him coach up like their young players, watching him expand from being just like a dunker to actually being like a viable like sidekick to Jokic at the 4 and the 5 position, and then being able to stretch it out to the 3-point line as well. Because he just had like a 10, how many, like 8 3-pointer game or something against the Warriors. He like killed them. So yeah, I said those two have probably been my favorites so far.
Dude, Aaron Gordon is. I saw a post and it was like, Jokic and Aaron Gordon got Bluetooth connection. Like they just know where each other's at. And
Yeah.
it reminded me of the one game that we watched where it was like late in the fourth quarter and he had like a cross tween behind the back sidestep on someone.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
he like dropped it down and then took it to the rack and dunked on him. I was like, dude, what the heck did I just watch?
Yeah.
Those are
It's crazy.
so valid. In that same vein of thought for like Unks coming back, I feel like Curry, dude. Like I feel like early on into the season he was just kind of floating around, and obviously like in the same way that LeBron doesn't, they don't need LeBron to be LeBron for like all 80 something games, you know?
Yeah.
They don't need Steph Curry to be that, but I feel like he's been cooking up like the last 4 or 5 games. Like he's been really hooping. And also like kind of seeing him away from Under Armour. Like I look forward to
Yeah.
that, like just like I wonder what shoes he's gonna wear. Like I saw him warm up in a pair of leaning Batman
Yeah.
Arkham.
I saw those.
Those were cool. And then like he was walking around in a pair of Wades. But besides that, I think seeing Luca, like it's hard not to like want to see how Luca's doing, you know?
Yeah.
He's hooping. He's absolutely hooping out of his mind. Um, man, who else? James Harden was honestly one that I was gonna say myself as well. James Harden.
You stole my answer.
For real. Nah, but he's like, their record is awful. It doesn't reflect like how well he's doing this
Yeah.
season. They're 4-11, like, and
Yeah,
they're about
that's
to
crazy.
play. They're actually playing the Hornets right now, I think.
Want to know the scariest thing about the Clippers being 4-11 too? OKC owns their pick, so we might see OKC get
Oh
another
wow.
lottery pick off of them. So I don't. Hopefully the Clippers don't continue to suck. So
Wait,
because we're kind of doomed if they
that's
do.
oh wow.
Which
Yeah, I
Wow, I
didn't.
didn't even think about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
I found that out
yeah.
today. I did not know that, and I was like, oh, like that could really be trouble. We could really be in trouble. The Pacers also having like this gap year is also kind of trouble because they could land another guy, um, another like top guy in a draft class that's really looked at as loaded.
And
Am
So
I reading this right? I just looked at
it's
The Clippers stats right now. It's the end of the first quarter. James Harden got 26.
they're playing right now.
Yeah,
What?
they're playing the Charlotte Hornets.
Oh my gosh.
hey, but
Okay.
He's got 26 with three or 5 3-point makes.
Oh my gosh. There you go, dude. That's perfect timing for your take. Let's
hey,
go.
you throw a parlay
Hey,
on it?
but 0 assists and 0 rebounds. That's just pure buckets.
Goodness. Hey,
Only
shout
way to do
out
it.
to him.
Crazy.
Oh, Atlanta Hawks too. Who's the young dude?
Jalen
Jalen
Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
Jalen
he's so
Johnson.
good.
He been killing.
He's balling. They've been playing well, even with like ever since Trae Young went out. They've actually been playing good basketball,
Yeah,
to be honest.
which is
So
funny.
that's pretty interesting to see where things will go from there with that. Whether they're gonna keep him or not. There's lots of guys, lots of guards specifically who could be finding a new home. Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball. You never know.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm gonna move on to my like two guys I really enjoyed watching. First, like seeing Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is just incredible. Like the speed he plays with, like he plays the game with joy too, and just looks like there's moments where like his float game looks unstoppable. He looks uncoverable when he just like he's a ridiculous shot creator. And that Philly team, all the guards they got, hopefully with Embiid getting semi healthy, can be super super scary.
Paul
Um,
George too.
yeah, Paul George coming back, hopefully getting his
So
confidence
happy
back
to see
too.
him back. I was so happy to see him come back and start
Yeah,
what 4
Punk
for
still
4.
got it.
yeah, I think he had 21 against Milwaukee, which that's solid. Like I
That's
want to see, I want fans to believe in him again. We talked about this when we've talked
Mm,
about this already. How like just like the negative recency bias around him with whether that be with how he played last year, the whole thing like get off the podcast stuff like that. Like
yeah,
I want to see Paul George succeed. Like you said, like a lot of fans should think like he's got one of the prettiest games aesthetically to watch.
He
Like
really
the
does.
handle at 6'10", the shot creating, great defender. I mean, you
It
got to
really
root for a
makes you
guy like
forget
that.
he's 6'10". Like if you were to
yeah.
see him move like that,
Yeah,
you'd think he's like 6'6".
seriously. Seriously. And then another guy I had in mind, which is I'm hoping I think no doubt with how good they're playing, um, he's gonna be a first time All-Star. I got Jalen Duren in here. I think
Oh yes,
watching Jalen Duren on the floor,
he's in the back. I have him in fantasy. He's really good.
he's just he's a beast and I love it because he's like not like the traditional like the not the modern center. I think like
Mhm.
Jalen Duren's not a guy you're gonna like have a pick and pop with. Like he like dominates on the glass, and he's like a physical like a big that's gonna like physically dominate a game, like a lob threat. You know, he's just stronger than a lot of guys. I think he's only like 22. I think he's turned 22 this year. Super young. The potential's through the roof for this Detroit team. Like they're playing really good basketball. I think on a 10-game winning streak and number one in the East. Like
Dude, shout out to
man,
the Pistons because seeing them last year, what they had the longest losing streak, and then
two
seeing
years ago.
2 years ago, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
seeing Kay Cunningham talking about like, man, it's not where we want to be at. Hopefully, like, it's just the nature of the game. We're trying to play better. It just doesn't look good, but like always, like still continuously uplifting his team, not
Hmm.
like completely. Like there's a lot of people nowadays that feel entitled to like request a lot of things from the league, whether it be a
Yeah.
trade, whether it be, more compensation in terms of like whatever their deals are and their contracts are. And like seeing Kay Cunningham just kind of put his head down and work and like really be a leader on that team. So shout out to them for being first right now.
No, really. I couldn't agree with that more. And I think that's like I think having that mindset of just staying solid despite like a tough time. There were lots of tough like his first 3-4 seasons in the league with the
Mhm.
Pistons were I mean it was the first three seasons in the league with the Pistons were not
I
good.
mean, the Pistons really
Like
haven't been nothing in a minute. Like they haven't really. When was the last time that they were really hooping deep playoff runs?
I don't know, maybe like literally maybe when they won the chip, to be
The
honest,
last
like
the
deep
last time
playoff
I
runs.
remember oh sorry. The last time I remember enjoying watching the Pistons was when Blake Griffin had his revival on their team.
Hmm. Yeah, when he was just hitting threes and he was like, that was that
Pulling threes.
evolution's crazy too, because that kind
Yeah.
of reminds me a bit of like how Aaron Gordon's evolved this game from like being known
Mhm.
as like a dunker and like those
Yeah.
guys like turning into shooters and
Mhm.
stuff. Guys with a
Yeah.
handle.
I just feel
Yeah.
like Aaron Gordon got it a little bit earlier than Blake Griffin got it.
Hmm.
So Blake Griffin
Yeah,
was
for
like
sure.
already on his
Yeah,
way out, like
Yeah,
developing those things in Aaron Gordon.
I agree.
That's definitely like a testament to who he plays around too, because it's like,
yeah,
you
Hmm.
know, Joker is always gonna make anybody on his team better. Jamal Murray, like how we said, I think the last time when he's like playing good and uh effective, it makes everyone else around him kind of step up as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
yeah. I think Jokic has like given guys like he's extended guys' careers or like given guys stronger careers for like you
But
look
yeah.
at a guy like Will Barton or no straight to Will Barton, like I'm sure you can hoop dog.
No,
But
yeah.
like or Monte Morris or I don't know, guys like that,
Yeah, that's
or like
that's valid.
I don't know, even like a guy like that is going to make any guy like guys get better around him. We saw like Aaron Gordon was elevating his game in Orlando, but it took another leap when
Mhm.
he
Yeah.
got to the Nuggets. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's been a fun season so far. Lots of fun guys to watch. On to the next topic. Most fun team to watch so far outside of your favorite team. Although our favorite team hasn't been playing as well as we want them lately. But
Hey, when Kobe White's
yeah,
in,
yeah,
hey,
dude,
I like seeing
it's
Kobe
coming
White
back.
back in. When Kobe White's in, like we're super fun to watch because the way he, crashes down the lane and pulls two, three other guys into the paint with him, and he's able to kick it out, get a good athletic pass, or just like still finish it with contact. But
Yeah.
no, I feel you. Dude. I think it really depends on like the players that like I'm looking at because it's I like seeing a lot of young players do well. So I like seeing obviously the reigning champs like OKC, like they're what are they, 12 and one or what?
Hmm.
They're
Yeah,
like,
it's either 12 or 13-1, something
yeah,
like that. I know they only have
it's
one
like
loss.
they genuinely can go for at least like 70 games, which is crazy to say. Because their lineup is also so deep and they're all so young, you know? So they're super exciting to watch. I think I'm always gonna like to see Philly play because of Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and now that uh we got old boy back, podcast P. I want to see him kind of step out too. But there's a lot of good teams this year that just have a lot of young core players that know how to move the ball well. I don't know. NBA just feels like at a really good spot.
It is
Yeah.
much more team basketball oriented, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with that. I think for me, a team that like emulates exactly what you said would be the Rockets because like I love their balance of having the unks, the old heads, also with the young people that are coming into
Mm-hmm.
like their identity in the NBA. Like we're seeing Reed Shepard be more confident in his shots, even like bringing the ball up, playing point. Like he's got some more swag to him. Then we're seeing KD, who's taking like Jabari Smith under his wing, and you can see that reflected in how Jabari plays. Like even last night, Jabari hit like he hit a three ball in the corner to like I think bring it within one or maybe yeah to bring it within one against the Nuggets, and it's just like the way his mannerisms were and like the confidence he had in the shot was very KD-esque in a sense. And like there had been reports of him like following KD around and doing the same workouts KD's doing. And then Sengun as well, baby Jokic, he's like he didn't have a great game last night, but I love seeing the contrast between a game like his, which is very untraditional and unconventional, mixed with like KD. And
Mm-hmm.
KD is a pure, beautiful bucket getter. Like all conventional buckets, like step back, shoot over. But like you'll see Sengun bump, bump, hook shot. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Watching the switch and contrast like throughout the game just keeps it entertaining because they have so many different ways of scoring, moving the ball, putting the ball in the hole. Like it's just you're engaged the whole time while you watch the Rockets play.
Yeah, and I added like Amen Thompson's absolute freak of
Oh
nature too.
yeah, how
Like,
could I
oh my
forget?
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, his
But
athleticism's actually like it's actually ridiculous. Like the way he flies, attacks the rim, like it's crazy. I'm waiting for a man to take that next leap to like develop that
yeah,
like third level of his game because like he can get to the basket, he can make some middies, but being able to add that three ball to his game will like really make him elite. So I hope that he can get that figured out this season.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they
got
got
blessed with some freak athleticism. That's crazy.
seriously both those. No, you're good. Both those guys, they're like, and they've elevated both their teams too. Like, Amen instant
Yeah,
impact on helping with like Asar, instant impact on helping the Pistons when like those two, they're special. They're just as like advertised coming in, and they love. I mean, they're like their ball knowledge is like crazy. Like they're true students of the game too. I think like coming in, they were having like interviews where they're getting quizzed on stuff, and they just said like they just knew like the most random NBA stuff, or like more than
yeah,
like because like there's a lot of basketball players I feel like who don't like. They're like they grew up so focused on playing basketball
They
that they
don't
didn't
like
like they weren't as
off.
big as fans of the NBA. Like
yeah, yeah.
so it's cool to it's interesting. It's very cool to see.
Mm. What
Um,
about you?
my team's the Spurs. I think the Spurs are going to be a blast. It stinks Wemby's out for a bit, but the fact they've been as good as they are, they're 11-4 right now.
Mhm.
The fact they've been as good as they are without De'Aaron Fox a lot of the year, like De'Aaron Fox just
Mhm.
came
He
back.
did come back and have a really good game. His second game
Yeah,
back, a really good game.
yeah. Because the first game, I think they got gamed by the Warriors. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was like the game last Friday. But
yeah.
lots of young talent on that team too. I mean, they had and Dylan Harper's out right now too. Like
Stephon
so,
Castle's out too.
lots. Stephon Castle's out right now
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, Steph Castle, rookie of the year last year. Wemby was rookie of the year before. Could you imagine Dylan Harper just as some like generational? I mean, he might might miss too much time, but like, could you imagine? could, could you imagine it's some sort of like generational rookie year where the Spurs get like 3 rookies of the year in a row? Like, that'd be crazy. It's probably not gonna happen. But that'd be just like a crazy like unheard of thing. But I think the Spurs, like, the future's bright, but I think they can win, like, now.
Yeah.
I think they can win now. And that brings us into our next segment with hot take slash bold predictions. I think the Spurs, it's a little crazy to say, but when you have a freak of nature like Wemby, with a healthy Wemby, the Spurs can make the finals right now. I'm going to say it. The Spurs can make the finals right now.
Think they can. I think they can. They have the ability, the talent, the discipline to do so. But like, you gotta look at least three other teams in the West that can
Yeah,
easily like.
that's the
You got
that's my
Nuggets.
problem.
Nuggets haven't gone nowhere in like the Nuggets are like
OKC,
a lock Western Conference
Rockets.
Finals,
Yeah.
and then now you
Yeah,
got the Rockets. I feel
yeah.
like they came up. I think this year is really going to be their year to kind of show that for real. And then like Luca, like without LeBron, and I know this goes into later conversation too, but like I think Lakers can have a little stab at it too in
Mm-hmm.
playoffs.
You
And then
can't count
OKC,
them
like
either. Like it's
yeah,
just the Western Conference is a
So
very,
stacked.
very extremely sad conference at this
dude, the
point.
East is sorry.
Yeah, if the Spurs were in
Comparatively,
the
like
East, I would have no problem with what you said, like for sure. But I think, depending on like obviously how the playoffs turn out and everything, and who the Spurs are gonna have to end up playing by the end of the season, and granted, if they're healthy, I think that you could be right in saying that they could go to the finals for
mm,
sure. Like that's not crazy to say. Like I feel like if OKC is the best team in the West and they end up playing the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, I feel like it would be like a 4-3 or like maybe
crazy
like five
series.
and two type thing. Like I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that it would be like a sweep or like any like blowouts. I feel like all games would be like very close as well.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um, but we got a long season ahead of us still.
we do. And Wemby's got to stay healthy. Like that's the one thing. Like, how is his body gonna turn on him? Because we see him do all the things off the court, like
Hmm.
trying his best to take care of it.
Yeah.
But when you're 7'5" and you're not like built, it's it's really hard. And like you're doing these things like a normal 7'5" human being does not do with their
Yeah.
body, like that nobody's seen before. Like it's hard to stay healthy. So
Hmm.
I'm really hoping he stays healthy because I think they got like good pieces like around him too, with like obviously the guards with Castle, Harper, and then De'Aaron Fox is a good vet to have, and Keldon Johnson's a good basketball player, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan. I remember the rookie year, like Wemby's rookie year, there was like people were highlighting how he didn't get Wemby the ball, but
Yeah.
things like seems like things are okay now,
Hmm.
but
Jeremy
lots of
Sohan,
talent
he
on the
was
Spurs
he
too.
was hooping the other night. I was watching him. I forgot who they were playing. But I just kept looking up and he was just like crashing boards, getting put back. So I was like, yo, like he's like, I mean, granted, they're missing a lot of people, so he would
Hmm.
be the next person to step up. But him and De'Aaron Fox were like going back to back, which is nice.
Yeah,
How
it's
long
it's an
De'Aaron
exciting
Fox been
team.
in the league?
Since
Over.
2017,
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Dang.
spent a lot of time in Sacramento. So,
Yeah.
but um,
Oh,
what what about you guys?
in regards to what?
Hot
Like
take, bold
hot take?
prediction.
I don't think I got no hot takes today.
Oh,
I had a crazy hot take last time, so
nah. I
You're not
got
gonna repeat it now.
no.
I remember mine. I'll repeat mine. I said that mine was that with the game on the line. Um, this sounds kind of crazy now. With the game on the line, Josh Giddey can make just as good as a decision with the ball in his hands as LeBron can. Um, in terms of like if it's a 2-point game and we have 10 seconds left or 15 seconds left, Giddey's bringing up the ball. Like I trust Giddey as much as I trust LeBron to either take it to the cup and score or to move who we need to move around personnel wise to get the best shot and the best look for us. And low-key, that's not even crazy to say because look at how we're winning games. Vooch has already
Yeah.
hit 2 game winners, and like that's not just Vooch. Like a lot goes into a player getting open, all the off-ball screens, off-ball movements, the feints, the passing. So yeah, that'll be my hot take, which I don't think is too insanely hot. I think just because the comparison is LeBron, that it
Yeah.
sounds crazier to say Giddy and LeBron in the same sentence. No disrespect to LeBron, but I just think Giddy it has that much of a high IQ.
No, I love it. I mean, he's definitely like one thing like Giddy's got to clean up is like he does turn the ball over like a decent bit, but that's only due to like the high like obviously he's got the ball in his hand so much then that and that's like the Bulls play so fast, you're naturally that's how things are going to go. But I think if he can I'm hoping that like he can somehow, figure out how like Tyrese Halliburton does a pretty good job. Like he like not getting as many turnovers. Like I think we saw some ridiculous games where he, like ridiculous amount of assists and then like 0, 1 or 2 like kept turnovers low somehow.
Yeah,
If Giddy can put that together, like the vision is there. The vision is so there. Like his vision's really like honestly I believe like top 5 in the league, no doubt.
yeah,
Noticed
So,
that too. I noticed when he's driving down to either to pass out and kick out last second, like he's either yeah, he's getting some like stupid turnovers at times, but most of the time it's really like a split between either getting fouled and getting straight to the free throw line or getting
mm,
like a little turnover that isn't entirely his fault. Maybe the person receiving the pass that was intended to didn't meet the ball like in the place, didn't take the extra step forward to
yeah.
get before. But like
yeah.
it's really effective to bring in more defensive guys into the paint. He does that really well along with Kobe White, which is cool to see.
I wanted to mention that because I feel like a lot of Giddy's turnovers are just him not being on the same page yet chemistry wise with the guys and some of the rotations that he's not playing as often in. But a lot of like someone that I see him consistently like link up with when they're both on the floor is like Io. Like Io knows when to make those backdoor cuts and he's so explosive that like Giddy can see it at the same time and like they link up like 100% of the time like when they um are on the floor at the same time. But like yeah, a lot of times like it's just like maybe Vooch being a little lazy and he doesn't want to take a couple steps forward or he doesn't want to cut as hard to the basket. And then it results in his defender reaching over, deflecting the ball. So it's like a lot of times I feel like Giddy makes the right read, but his read is either like one, too predictable to the defender or our player is just not doing the job because this is their job to be open as well to catch a pass. So
Yeah, no, that's true. Like I think like obviously when you see a turnover on the stat sheet or you just see the box score, like you'll like it's instantly you're gonna blame it on like
Yeah.
yeah,
the
yeah.
player who has that in their stat
Um,
sheet. But yeah, like when you watch the games, I definitely see that too. Like totally no, not every turnover's on Josh Giddey.
Mhm.
And totally like also agree with like the Io tandem. I really like their pairing together. Io's one of the smartest basketball players I've watched. I feel like honestly, like, and there's some bias as a Bulls fan, but like I think Io even coming as a rookie, I thought he was a very good decision maker for like the most part. Like he's had like slumps in his career, like sophomore year, but like I would assume he was a great
I
basketball
think
player.
being under DeMar for those couple years really helped him with that. I think he spoke about that on the Bulls podcast that they had, where
Mm,
and seeing like how DeMar gets into the gym and has a routine of things. He has a discipline for what he sticks to in his workouts and like how he manages understanding like his spots in game and how he practices that to convert it to in game, he was talking about like how that was really good and helpful for him.
yeah, definitely. Like that's the value of having a good vet around too. I think
I feel like
And
DeMar is a fire vet to have too.
he really took those guys under his wing. He went to like Io's like jersey ceremony at U of I. I thought that was really cool when that happened. But dude, yeah, I think DeMar did. Like you see, like the mid range, like Io adding that to his bag too. I think that's like from DeMar too. Guys taking leaps of scores like Kobe White.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think DeMar really did take the guys under his wing, and that was cool to see Io reflect on that in that podcast. Like that was a great listen. The young man three having those three modest, giddy Io, that was fire.
Hmm.
Um, Okay, we're gonna transition into the debate topic. I don't know. Lakers have been playing pretty good basketball. Third in the West, 11-4. Luka doing what Luka does. He's kind of settling in and kind of looking more comfortable in LA. Seems over Dallas. Um, Reeves has elevated his game, averaging 28, 5 and 8. LeBron James is still LeBron James. What do we think of the Lakers? Do we think LeBron's? I personally, before the season, totally wrote off like LeBron ever winning another championship in the NBA.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm starting to have some fears. I'm starting to MJ's my goat, but I'm a little concerned. What do you guys think? Do you think LeBron can there's a chance his championship window is reopened with this Lakers roster?
I think yes. I say that because LeBron doesn't have to be LeBron anymore, or
Mm-hmm.
like LeBron anymore. He can take the role of more so like a Chris Paul hybrid where he's really just a facilitator, playmaker, but like on the contrary to Chris Paul, LeBron's actually a 6'7" shot blocker as well and can defend around the rim and actually defend a player. So he's not like a weak link while having just that playmaker. I think it
Mm-hmm.
adds a lot because we know Luka's stamina isn't the best. Luka doesn't want to bring the ball up all the time. He wants to walk up the court a lot of the time after he gets his buckets, which is valid. And if they can have LeBron being that playmaker, that handler, that facilitator, and also being like somewhat of a defender on the back end, I think that that helps him a lot. And also the addition of DeAndre Ayton, he's been like great for them so far. Like they actually got a legitimate center who can stay healthy, who's young. He has like I think AD lost a little bit of his spark, like a little bit of like that desire to win.
Mm-hmm.
There's a good time like to phase him out because he got comfortable. He has his championship. Like DeAndre Ayton still has something to prove. He's been talked about his entire career, not living up to his draft pick, not living up to who he's supposed to be. And he's getting that chance right now on arguably the biggest stage in NBA, being on the Lakers to
Mm-hmm.
prove what he has. And I think he's making the best of his opportunities so far.
I love it. Well
I'm
said. I
excited for
think
the Lakers team. Yeah.
yeah. I think DeAndre Ayton has been the biggest surprise for me, to be honest. Given like guys like I feel like his former teammate, like there's been like footage of him blowing up in the huddle with Monty Williams. Like things happen, obviously, between guys. Basketball gets heated, but like his teammates, like I don't know how much Devin Booker rocks with them or like his former teammates, but it's good to see him in a new situation and like with that in the past and him pushing forward and playing like better basketball on this stage. Like he seems happy and he's really happy in this situation, which is huge. And he's hungry because like you mentioned with obviously like he's been very talked down on. And he
Hmm.
had a year where he went to the finals and they lost 4
Yeah,
games straight.
yeah.
So he's hungry to win that chip for sure. I love all those points. Jason, what about you, man? I low-key
I
cut
was
you
gonna
off
say
on
like the
accident, but
first couple are you good? The first couple games that he had as a Laker, like they were kind of shaky. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. And like obviously new season, new team. And then the new team that you're going to, they have new dynamics and chemistry that they're getting adjusted to. But seeing him in probably like the last 4 or 5 games, like he's been pretty consistent. And I like that a lot too. Kind of like to piggyback off of what Saul said, like to have someone who still has hunger and drive and they're put onto the Lakers, especially like LeBron doesn't have to be jumping out the gym no more. He's getting
Mhm.
older, but he obviously can. He still can. Like he still is as athletic as like a dude in the league that's like 32. Like he's
Mhm.
crazy. So like you still have that option when need be, but it doesn't really need to be because Austin Reeves has stepped up so much as well as backing up Luca for the first opening bit of this when LeBron is out. And they've been doing fine, you know, like
Mhm.
I think we were just talking about they're averaging 60 together, like Austin Reeves
Yeah,
and Luca. Like
Luka,
that's
Crazy.
straight up
it's
that's like
6-3. Yeah.
that's crazy, bro.
Crazy.
That's like Kyrie and LeBron in the finals run that they went on with the Cavs.
Mhm.
Like they were just going back to back. And then you add in LeBron as a facilitator. He's probably easily one of the biggest, highest IQ, basketball IQ guys. You know, like you just
Yeah.
can tell. Like there's some people that have a lower IQ in basketball, and you can see it when it comes to seeing how they interact with their teammates on the court and
Mhm.
seeing if there's miscommunications anywhere. But like it reminds me of that one clip of I think it was Austin Reeves' second year, and he was talking to LeBron about something, and he was like he looked
Oh,
confused,
yeah.
and then he was like,
Yeah.
"All right, man, if you say so," you know, and like that's just kind of how he is. So for him to be at a quote unquote like lower position for his team, LeBron, um, I think serves him better because he can probably do that position at 110% every day. And because if you're to have to be the superhero LeBron, you know, like back in the day, I don't think he can be that every night. Like durability, he's getting a little bit older, you know, like he's not going to be that, but he doesn't have to be that. So I do think like it is possible, you know, if I were to split it like percentage wise versus like the top other 4 or 5 teams in the West, like I think they got like a 20% like chance to get to either the Western Conference Finals or the straight up the finals. Like
Yeah.
for
I think
sure,
that's a good I
playoff.
think that's a good number.
You know,
Yeah, I think for sure the playoffs too.
Something else, to go with like what you said about LeBron not having to be that is like if you think about a team that has to defend the Lakers, their best defender is going on Luka. Arguably, in some matchups, their second best defender is going to go to Austin Reeves. And whoever the third best defender on any NBA team is cannot guard LeBron James.
that I think that's crazy too. Like,
And it's
Yeah.
crazy. And it's
yeah,
like, even whoever the second best defender is on a lot of NBA teams can't guard LeBron. Like, physically, like, mentally, like, you just can't guard him. So it's like, how can you match up properly with a full, healthy Lakers lineup running at full speed and being conducted very well by LeBron and also JJ doing a great job at head
Yeah.
coach. So it's like, yeah, JJ needs more credit too. JJ's been a great head coach. His interview on the podcast worked out well for them so far. So if it keeps going that direction. But yeah, matchup wise, like it's really hard to match up with the Lakers as well.
Yeah. No, that's such a huge thing when it comes to the playoffs. Like a team
Yeah.
can be better in the regular season, but if it's a matchup nightmare for you, what are you
Hmm.
gonna do about it? How are you gonna adjust? And that was like the
Exactly.
issue when they were playing, like the exact issue when they were playing Minnesota. Minnesota was the 6th seed, the Lakers were the
Yeah.
3 seed,
Yeah.
and they didn't have like Jackson Hayes was not an answer to what the Timber somehow to Rudy Gobert, who somehow was an offensive juggernaut. No,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah.
not actually. But like literally, like they didn't have an answer for the bigs in Minnesota. So like matchups are huge.
But something about the West is that a lot of the top teams in the West are like lankier teams. Like you look
Mm,
at the Rockets, they're lanky. The Lakers are lanky. The Spurs are lanky.
KC.
OKC lanky as well. So it's like I guess like maybe matchups aren't like as
hmm
one-sided, but there's definitely a lot of places where they could take advantage of matchups.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like and like yeah, that's they definitely can. But I think like yeah, like those top dog, specifically the top dog in OKC, like they've got that team is loaded defensively. Like
Yeah.
they actually like you think like you they can actually match up with the
Yeah,
Lakers
I
defensively.
agree.
That's like
I
one team you look at, like Luke. Okay, like Luka's so special, like, but like all like OKC's got like three guys who are like all NBA, like in
yeah,
you know,
defenders, Lou
yeah,
Dort as well.
Chet,
Like,
yeah, Lou
and
Dort, four guys who are all
they have a
NBA
lot of
caliber.
actions where they can like be perfectly fine switching on ball screens or switching on down screens, which is like so huge to not have to like chase around those and just be able to switch and like be comfortable in the matchup. So it's going to be hard for a lot of teams who play ISO versions of basketball to beat a team like OKC.
100%. I agree. But like with all this talking about what like the Western Conference, it really excites me for what we're gonna see in the Western Conference playoffs this year. Cause like there's just a lot of possibilities. Like and you'll think about a few teams and then you'll forget about another one that can also really make like a
Yeah.
run. So like it's crazy. It's madness there. All right, next topic. This one we can keep a little quicker. For real or not, the Toronto Raptors are off to a very nice start this year at 11-5, second in the East. Have some good wins, 2 wins against Cleveland, a win against Philly, and beat Milwaukee by 28. Which to me look those are pretty impressive wins so far. Rest of
Yeah.
their schedule has been kind of a cakewalk, um, but getting a balanced attack with Brandon Ingram, RJ, Scotty averaging 20 apiece. My question to you guys is, do we think they're for real? Like, do you think like they can win like, and for real in the aspect of can they win a playoff series? Is what they're doing sustainable?
Yeah. So this kind of goes back to I feel like a theme of what we've discussed so far is the discrepancy in the strength of the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. Um, the Raptors being in the Eastern Conference like benefits them greatly because the Eastern Conference is not strong by any means. Like, are who's the best team in the East right now? Is
The
it
The Pistons are
yeah?
number one right now.
So the Pistons, I don't think are a top five team in the West. So like I think that the Toronto has a good potential to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Granted, they stay healthy because the real competition I feel like would be like what it'd be Pistons, it'd be
Knicks,
New
Knicks
York.
and
Cavs,
Bucks,
Cavs.
Cavs. See,
I think the
I don't.
Cavs beat them.
See. I think that too. Like, I would love to think that, but the Cavs, they don't show up. Like they haven't
It's
showed up
fair.
when it's mattered. And granted, I mean, I guess Toronto hasn't either. They're on a hot streak, but still, I don't like.
I think
I don't know.
seeding
There's
is going
somewhere
to
in
matter
between for
a
real. I
lot.
guess it really depends on like what the NBA looks like towards the end of the season in terms of injuries and all that.
It's a great point because it's all about. I mean, in the playoffs, like luck matters so
Yeah.
much too. Like, there's a lot
Whoever's
of
the
different
healthiest
scenarios
team,
we could look at.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So
Yeah, I was going to say
Conference finals is crazy
the
though, but
seeding
yeah,
is
Jaden,
going to matter a lot
yeah,
going into
yeah,
the last probably 10 games. If the East becomes a little bit more competitive down the line to where like a couple games won or lost really matters for seeding. Kind of like how it was last year for the West from what was it? I think it was like the fourth seed all the way down to like the eighth seed. Like all those last 4 or 5 games going into the playoffs really mattered for
yeah.
hmm
position you guys were going to be in. So, I mean, I think Toronto can go. They have the talent to go to like the Eastern Conference Finals, but like it depends who they're playing. It depends like the route that they take to do so, you know?
Also, like I'm like considering the East is like by All-Star break is definitely gonna look different because
yeah,
players who need to move and there's obviously the East being the weaker conference means that they're a better market to get some players like Ja or we see a different team in the East with LaMelo and So I guess it's harder to really say like because a move like that in the East is gonna make a bigger impact than in the West, just because of like how skewed the talent is. So like if you get
Hmm.
a player like Ja in the East, all of a sudden, whatever team Ja is most likely going to be a lot better
Mhm.
because of the weaker competition. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know,
We'll-
man. I think, to be honest with you, I'm gonna push back on the Eastern Conference Finals. I
Yeah.
think, to be honest, I think they're, and this is me also, because I look, I like Toronto, but I just don't believe in like like the structure of the roster. Like
I
they're
don't
like,
believe them.
I don't think I don't think it works, and like I don't think like I just can't like look like obviously injuries can play a factor, but you look at these teams and you look at you're looking at the standings. Picture the NBA standings. It's April. It's getting warmer. You're looking at the NBA standings on your phone, your laptop, whatever. I don't see them being in front of the Knicks, Pistons, Cavs, or Sixers. And then that
They
means you
are
got
right now.
dramatic.
That's the thing.
They are right now. It's November. It's November. I'm saying. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. So
Well,
and you're not beat. I just don't see a path where you're beating those teams. If you're
okay.
sorry, any Canadian listeners of Dribble and Disciple, if you exist yet, sorry, you know. um, but I think they're a first round exit at best, and that's also because I think they're like one of those teams that like the Hawks, Raptors, they're kind of in a similar tier when you like is in terms of what fans think about them, like the Bulls. So I'm kind of like
Mm,
I don't like you right now. So I don't want you to see, and I'm not like that as a fan normally, but in terms of the teams that are like right next to the Bulls, I want us to be better.
yeah.
So
I
I
mean,
don't know.
Merc, like they beat the Cavs twice. Like
It's impressive. It's impressive. I agree.
I'm
It's
saying,
impressive.
like,
I don't believe in them. I don't know. I just don't. Some about it just it's not gonna work. Like I don't know. They got some nice players. They got a
yeah.
nice young talent, Colin Murray Boyles. They got Grady Dick who can shoot the three. But like and like they got obviously their top guys like
Buddy Bond.
Bi and RJ and Scotty. But like
I can't lie. I understand what you're saying. Like the synergy of the roster isn't.
it's weird.
Yeah,
Not
it is weird.
sustainable.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
sustainable as comparison to other teams. Well, we don't know, but it doesn't seem sustainable in comparison to other teams. I
They're
agree
top
with.
two in assists right now, though. Top three efficiency, which is top. Like it's impressive. There's impressive. They're doing impressive stuff, but the sustainability of it is where the question is. Because like Bi, that's a guy who gets his buckets in the mid range.
Yeah,
Scotty Barnes isn't a floor spacer. RJ Barrett's not much of it. Like they're not above average shooters. Like those are guys I feel like at their best with the ball in their hands, but you never know, with a different system. And Coach Darko seems like a dog. I like the guy. I'm gonna
we got we got to give credit to Emmanuel quickly though. He's
yeah,
been doing very well. He's a big part of why they're winning. And Jacob, what's his last name? The center, Jacob P.
Jakob
I don't know
Pertl, yeah.
how you pronounce it. Pirtle? Is
Jakob
there?
Pertl, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
What
I
is
don't
that
know, but
from?
I don't know.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
EOELT something. Like it's
Have you
weird.
never played the game Pertl? You never played that? Like the
Mm-mm.
NBA guessing game? Really? Wow.
No,
It's pretty popular at the time, a
um,
couple years ago.
I missed out.
You did.
But
You
You're
did.
supposed to put us on.
I
for
should
real.
have. My bad.
But yeah, but then again, like they're kind of like the Bulls in a sense that we're unconventional, but we're winning. Like, or I guess we're not winning as much anymore, but
No.
we're we were unconventionally structured, and like it worked out well. So I mean, who really knows?
Who knows? Who knows at the end of the day? Yeah,
We can
winning looks
come
different.
back to this topic around All-Star break, and then we'll
We'll
have
talk.
a better
We'll talk.
debate. We can bring up
All
the
right.
receipts and everything.
This is what it's for. The receipts. No. Yeah.
Writing.
That was fun. I love that. I don't know, I love things like that, like there's a lot of hope early on the season with teams. Like that's and like things just that happen that are unexpected. But
That's another thing too. I want to see them succeed because I like Brandon Ingram and I like a lot of
Yeah,
the things they got going on. So it's like I want to be optimistic for them, even though I'm not a Raptors fan, but I want to be
no,
like hope that they do well.
yeah, and
Everyone,
I think Brandon Ingram is totally like I know like the Pelicans have much success, but he was a ceiling raiser compared to what's going on in New Orleans right now with them being like
for
2 and
sure,
12. So,
for sure.
but yeah, great, some great talents on that team. We'll see what it ends up being, honestly.
Yeah.
But fun NBA talk. I had a blast doing that. Um, onto the we did the dribble. We're getting to the disciple section of this podcast. So we're doing the faith segment. First thing I'd like everybody to share is an athlete you admire for being bold and sharing their faith. A lot of thoughts from you today. Come on, man. You came with the outline last time. Come
I
on, you
didn't
were the
come with
most
the
prepared
outline this
person.
time.
All right, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Here you go.
All right. I'm gonna say Bryce Young, because kind of like in previous discussions we've had, but I just I appreciate Bryce Young for how much he got counted out so quickly, especially just the fact that he was part of one of the worst trades in NFL like history. And then like people are expecting him to like be an equalizer for that trade, obviously because he was the pick, and he didn't live up to that to start off his career, but he always was like always putting his trust in the Lord and always acknowledging him in interviews and post games, and um there's like sound clippets and snippets of him like being so uplifting and positive to his teammates, and like all his teammates have just had like great things to say about him, and you can tell that his faith in Christ is carrying over to what is happening for the Panthers on the field, because a lot of people have counted them out. But like they're still making it happen. They've had a couple like really impressive, like they beat the Packers, which nobody
Hmm.
is expecting that of the Panthers. And Bryce Young, he had like a 400-yard passing game this season. Yeah,
You went crazy last week.
yeah, was that last week? We were like
It
450
was
or something
last week, yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah. And it's like, all right, like now people are starting to realize and recognize, and I think that's just a testament to his faith and not giving up on um himself, but also giving up on Christ and just trusting him to take him where he needs to go.
Love it.
I would say this is one that I knew about. I just didn't kind of bring it up last time. But Tyrese Halliburton in his GQ interview, he talked about it was probably like a year and a half ago now. He talked about his faith and talked about how he's been trying to get into his word more. And in the starting five Netflix special, not sponsored, shouts out Netflix. He brought up how like how much of a trial it was getting injured in that last game. And like if you think about it when it comes to how God tests us, because it's easy to love God when everything is going well and to be grateful when everything is going well. But when the things that we place our most importance on are being tested, and health for an athlete is such a big thing of like, that's the difference maker between someone being written off and someone being like elevated at an all-star capacity. So to see him and how he was talking about it and saying how it provided him time to reflect a lot and to look to God more and to have a higher faith for God in his personal relationship with it. um Even though like it's not as like outright like, oh, I'd like to thank my Lord Jesus, during an interview, but to talk about is the difference between like vertical worship and horizontal worship. I think vertical worship is the praise given to God, and horizontal worship is talking about how God is implemented in your life and works through our failures and our sinful natures. And so seeing that and how he was talking about that, I like, I would go with him.
I love that. I love that pick because like you, I mean, literally just watching that, it was just like hard not to get super
Dude,
heartbroken.
I've
Like
seen
not having
so
a
many
dog in the fight and
sad
like
edits. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then you just imagine him. So like to literally just like lean firm on your faith like that
Yeah.
is cool. And it's like those I feel like it's those situations like the toughest situations you go through like the times that you have to like be the most resilient. That's where you grow in your faith the
Yeah.
most, I feel like. To
Mm,
like where you learn to lean on God and like that's cool to see him do that.
for sure.
Um a guy I have is Jaden Ivey. Um which I like the first time I ever saw him really like talk about his faith was in a press conference after a Pistons game in 2023, I think it was. And he just like boldly, told everybody like Jesus is coming back and you need to put your faith into it, like along the lines of that. But I just thought it was super cool at the time, and I wasn't really like I had been investigating my faith and trying to grow in my faith at the time, but you know, I've grown a lot more now, and like I think it was super cool for him like to be bold and go out and do that. Um, and you could tell like he was a little nervous doing it,
Yeah,
but
dude.
he denied that like fleshly desire to like care about what other people think, and he went out and said it. And I also love just like um there's this episode I told you guys about this before and sent you it, but he did an interview with Sports Spectrum. This was fresh off him. He broke, I think it was last season. He broke a patella, broke a bone. Was out for the year. I think he's been out since. Um, and just like the rawness of his testimony was super cool. It was one of like the athlete testimonies that hit me most. Like he was just super real about like his struggles is like growing up faith as a young man and being an NBA player too. Like and like he was real about like what like how he's had temptation to backslide at times, and go back to like living the world more, but like he stayed firm and like has stayed like trusting God despite his injury. Like Jaden Ivey is definitely one of my favorites, and another one I had was Jalen Wilson. That's like I saw like something cool where he went and got lunch with like Stork Connectly, which Stork and Cliff Connectly are two of my favorite voices to listen to when
Hmm.
with talking about faith and the importance of a relationship with
I didn't know
Jesus. Those
that.
guys
That's
are
sick.
awesome. Yeah, like
Yeah.
there's like a picture on his it's on like Stort's Instagram and maybe Jalen's too. But it was cool. Like I think they got lunch and like went to church together, something like that. I thought that was sick. I thought that was sick. And he's always posting about Jesus too. And like even though he's a Kansas guy, I'm not supposed to like a Kansas guy as a Mizzou guy. I think it's cool. I think it's cool. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
Next topic is, talking more about us individually, where God has helped us grow most and like trying to walk in the faith and grow in our relationship with them.
Me
Who wants to
first.
start?
Uh, Um, I'll say for me personally, the area that God has worked in me the most has been patience, specifically patience towards others. And well, actually, and in myself, for sure, because I know in the era that we live in, like the grind, hustle, get your bag era, it's hard or it's easy to compare yourself to where others are at, in their life or by like fleshly measures of success. But if you truly have a relationship with Christ and get to know him, then you learn that whatever the world defines as success is not true success. And there's peace in knowing that, because everybody's walk of life is different. Everybody's path is different. So you shouldn't need to compare yourself with everyone else, which then grants you the patience to know that um when walking with Christ, you can't fail. So you shouldn't be worried about, even if your timeline isn't exactly what you had planned, he has a timeline for you. And remembering that, just having that in the back of the mind or the forefront of your mind, actually, when you're feeling restless about certain things that maybe haven't been delivered to you yet, is just really key. And it's just helped me like with like staying away from having like anxiety problems and being worried about the future constantly. And yeah, it's probably been the number one uh thing that's been worked on with me. And then like patience with others would just be like if somebody has something like snarky or smart to say, or if like somebody's doing something like odd in public, where like to the point where I would usually like judge them or like have a judging eye to them. It's just like you never really know what someone is struggling with or going through, or because like everyone that you see doing something has had something done to them to get them to that point, psychologically, mentally, physically, and that's something that we don't think about all the time. Like we're obviously concerned about what's happening in the now, but everybody is conditioned and brought up a certain way. So you got to realize that people might have went through certain trials and tribulations that you haven't gone through in your life that got them to that point. So it's just um, easier to give a lot of people grace because I know that the Lord gives me a lot of grace daily.
Dude, so well said. I think that's just like his love that like it just like you know his love, you know how patient and graceful he's been with you. It just like it makes you want to. It serves him when you're serving others and when you're thinking that way, like
Yeah, for
treating
sure.
others the way he's treated us.
Hmm.
Jason, what about you, man?
I think for me, it's kind of really parallel to what Saul says because I mean, if you think about we're 22, 23. I know I'm a little bit more older than you guys by 1 year. But
Oh,
like
it?
I start juggling the idea of like, man, I want to propose to my girlfriend. I want to have a family. I want to a lot of things that I want to do to serve God through being a good husband, a good son, a good potentially be a good father. Um you kind of get caught up in the how of things getting done and how is God going to get me there. But I've been trying to live a little bit more slower and not feel so rushed by everything because if you think about all the biggest things that contribute to growth in our faith, they're all slow processes. Like sanctification is a slow process. It's not like you repent of something and the next day you're like, oh, yep, I'm free from it. It's like, no, you're probably going to stumble for like the next year or 2 years and slowly just learn to love the things that God loves and hate the things that he hates. And being patient with myself in that sense and not falling victim to the culture's like get the bag mentality, like especially in Western culture and in the US, it's such a big thing of doing things quickly and then lack of commitment too. So having everything that Jesus tells and asks of us to be flipped upside down culturally, that's something that I'm just trying to allow God to work in me more is the patience and doing things slower and not feeling rushed because like man, you have no clue how God will transform your life in an instant if you're obedient to how you feel he's calling you to be obedient.
Mm,
Who's to say like God can't present so and so with this opportunity the next day that wouldn't have been thought to be imagined? Because things like that have happened. They've been accounted for in the Bible, they've been accounted for in personal people that I know. having things just kind of transform their life in an instant. And so I think for me, it's been a patience thing, a desire to live more righteous and to live a little bit slower.
I love that answer. And like, yeah, patience is so huge to like such a valuable thing to have in a society that really like seems like, especially like it's not how it is for real, but like what's presented on social media a lot of time is instant gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Is like these young people who are getting, whether we look at athletes who are making millions of dollars when they're 19, 20 years old, or like people who get a really great job out of college, like you don't see like the work that and like the discipline they put in to get there. And like society just makes, I don't know, it's patience is so much more valuable, and like such like being obedient and denying ourselves is so much more valuable than um than just getting those like microwave results, I like to call them.
Yeah, I like that.
Like but yeah, I love that answer. Another, like I feel like God's like helped me grow in like those ways too. Like I'm definitely with you guys, like being more patient, um trying my best to like bite my tongue before I say something to others. That is challenging. Like I've told you guys, that's a challenging one for sure. And like just treating others like God, like with the grace like God's treated us. One I've noticed lately in my daily life is feeling convicted when I get lazy. Like totally, like if I'm just sitting around and not being productive. Um, I just I don't like there's some I feel like I'm like I don't like it. Like some it just rubs me the wrong way. And
Yeah.
like at work too, like if there's something I have to get myself to do and there's nobody with like an immediate demand for me to do it, I start like if I feel myself like start to drift off and get lazy, I feel that conviction. Like and I'm like I'm not like I start to think like I'm not serving God by like pushing this task off. Like I think there's like it's cool to see that like weaved into like more aspects of my life where it's like I don't know, like if you don't want to like if it doesn't matter, if something doesn't matter much to you, like to get it done, but then it like you start to feel convicted from
If I'm
God,
supposed to
like
be a representative of Christ, I should
yeah,
be to the best of my ability at all given times. I
Yeah.
feel
literally exactly that. I love it. I love it. But yeah, that's an area he's helped me grow. And there's so many, like there's such a long way to go. As I mentioned, my attention span's not great. So that's somewhere I
that.
can,
Social media
I
is
get
cooking us.
it's cooking me. I had to delete TikTok, so I got TikTok back for this podcast to upload clips, and I'm like, this is like I was like, I'm just gonna watch. Like Jack, if you send me some sports edits, I'll get on here. I've been getting on there too much, so I had to go this morning. So we're gonna try and make it like I'm only like I upload what I want to post from here, and then it's gone. But yeah, so that's an area I need to just
Have Jack be your social media manager on TikTok.
like be my hire him.
Hey, he might
It
go
could
crazy.
be actually.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. But yeah, that was mine. How about biggest challenges, places where you guys want to grow?
I'll start because I've been letting Saul start for like the
Yeah.
last 5 days.
You haven't started a lot.
I think for me, well, because the last time I started like every question, I kind of just went on a crazy tangent. I was trying to like pull myself back a little bit. I
It's
think for
okay.
me, things that I need to work on, even though it's something that I know that I'm been growing at substantially, it still doesn't um negate that it's something that I need to work on, but is to do everything that I have in my ability, kind of like how you were talking about, Liam, with a willingness that makes others around me question why am I like so willing to do. Like I work in a warehouse, and I have so many people who I'm a forklift driver, and I'm designated to one particular location of packaging, and so I'm responsible for bringing them all the materials they need, all the pallets they need, transferring items. A lot is asked of me because I'm the sole um driver that is assigned to them, and there's a lot of times where like I have some of the older ladies that I work with, and they come to me like, "Man, Jason, like you're working so hard today. Like it's too much work, Jason." And I'm like, "Well, it's okay." And like I have to get it to a point to where my mindset is so ingrained in wanting to serve others that my response has to be, no, it's okay. Like I'm just trying to help. Like ask of me should not be like big enough, you know? I should always be looking to serve, to have a willingness that serves as my witness, so that when other people look at me, they don't see me, but they see Christ in me, and they can't deny that because it's so uncultural to the work like atmosphere that America kind of brings up. You know, a lot of people that are like, man, work. I hate work. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
be, you know, you get a lot of people that are very complaining that, and like sometimes rightfully so, most of the times rightfully so. Um, but if you have a willingness that supersedes that, I think that's a good way to show your witness. I forgot where I heard it, but it's something along the lines of like, you will be the only Bible that anybody might read. You know, you will be the only testimony that people might see in their day to days. So if we are to call to, you know, we have the Great Commission, it should also be through our actions and when it's needed to speak biblically and to speak about Jesus, but firstly, it should be our actions and our willingness to serve. So
Yeah.
that's that I'm trying to do better with continuously.
Yeah, I love that answer. I think yeah, just like leading I think that like just like being that example is so huge too. And it's like people like talking about Jesus and actually like show like walking that walk and like their
Mhm.
behavior reflecting it is so huge to actually like drawing people into that. I love that answer. I think that's great. Solomon, what about you?
See, my answer, I should have went first because my answer is basically
Hey
the same.
man, find your own answers, pal.
Jeez. Yeah. Well then I'll say something else. Besides what Jason's talking about. Mine would probably be a willingness in terms of starting conversations about Christ with people that I'm not necessarily comfortable with. Like as openly. Maybe he's not someone like I'll tell secrets to, but like somebody that I know and I know that they don't know Christ, but are willing to like hear me out and listen because of like the history and connection that we have. And I've taken better steps at that, even with like being at the gym and talking to strangers. Like at the gym, I wear this cover shirt that Jay actually made. It says some more, and then it says Yeshua
Plug
the
it.
author. Oh yeah, plug tempo. Check it out. But it says some more on the back, and then it says Yeshua the author on the back of it. So there's been multiple occasions where I've been wearing the shirt, and I've gotten like an extra long look from somebody, but like it's one of those looks where like you could tell like this person is like curious about faith or like curious as to what the shirt means or why I'm wearing it. And then like I've had conversations with people about their faith at the gym, which has been like a really cool plug, which is also helping me be like just talking to strangers about it is like it makes it that much easier when you talk to somebody you actually care about, or not that I don't care about strangers, that sounds crazy. But like somebody that like you consider like a good friend or family,
Yeah.
like it a lot easier to talk to them about it. If you're able to talk to strangers about it. So yeah, I think that would be my my probably second area that I would like to start working on better or more.
I love it. I think that's a great answer. It's such a challenging thing. Like even with starting this podcast, I had so much nervousness probably even like announcing this. Like because it's a little I don't know, like I think that's somewhere where I need to grow in my faith too and like at it's like like because like and just like deny that fleshly urge to care what others think about what you have to say about your faith. Because I think a big part of like having like anxiousness when talking about like your faith publicly is like I think it's like thinking like what is this person gonna say or like there's
Yeah,
also
in
like
this
that like
format too, because you then announce it, there's now an
mhm,
expectation that comes with it.
yeah
So it's like, oh, these dudes trying to do dribble and disciple, but like, okay, well, what's the content that they're talking about in the disciple? Like, there's now a magnifying
yeah
glass. But like that in itself kind of prepares you for um how God wants to use us. But
right
you get that.
100%. And that's like that kind of leads it into me like I want everything I do in terms of like growing my faith to be fully and genuinely rooted in Christ and serving Him too. Because I think I'm totally guilty of sometimes you get in a mindset where it's like, all right, God, well, like I think it's like a fleshly like just like urge, like you get in a mindset like you're doing well in a certain area of your faith, and then you expect something like sometimes, and that's like something I want to completely kill
Yeah.
from my life. Like I want everything to be about serving Him, and like I don't want like if I'm giving up something, I want it to be fully for Him, not like like for my own like ego to think I'm doing better.
That's
So like
such
I think
a
just like fully pointing my heart at it, like
yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a big thing to bring up because I think that's one of those things that every Christian who is in an intimate walk with Christ thinks to themselves, but will never say it out loud is that like, man, like I'm doing good, like
hmm
is God gonna reward me with something soon? Like
I'm a wife. I'm
Yeah.
I
gonna
catch
car.
myself thinking that sometimes and like I know that you know, to understand the voice of God, because we can hear the voice of God in our thoughts. We have three thoughts. We have thoughts of ourself, which usually are just you kind of hear it in your own psyche as yourself speaking to yourself or commentating on something in a day to day. And we have temptations that we hear from demons and the devil who shoots arrows, as Revelations say it, fiery arrows towards us, hoping that one is going to stick. And we hear those, which are like the completely like out of like the left center, like you hear something in the back of your mind as you're saying a prayer that's like inappropriate or something. You're like, whoa, whoa, and then you have the Holy Spirit's thoughts for us and of us. And like I have to remind myself when I have those thoughts that I think are both part a temptation from um the devil, but also my ego talking in tandem to me about like, man, like I've been doing good. Cause he'll twist the truth. And it's like, yeah, we
Mm,
probably have been doing good comparatively to how we've been walking. Um, but to have that and then to be like, oh, okay, hold on, I gotta kill that part. Cause that really
mhm.
is a big thing.
100%. I think like it's crazy how even when you're like improving in a certain area, like the devil try and creep in and like make you feel prideful or sometimes like he'll always try no matter what like the angle will be, like he tries to take us bad. Like if you're not doing if you're not doing well in a certain area, like he'll try and make you feel like you're unworthy of sharing the word or talking about your walk with Jesus with others.
Yeah.
And if you're doing well in a certain area, he'll try and pump you up with pride and like I don't know. Those are and it's funny because like I actually what I initially wrote for myself here was like avoiding music that glorifies sin, but that's like while that's been a place where I've taken steps and is important for me to try. I've like totally backslidden with that like this week and like it's also like an area where it's like sometimes like it's one of those areas where you're like, like I don't know how to explain it, but um you see growth in a certain area, and then sometimes you like start to think you're like further along in your or like it like I'm just trying to avoid like getting any sort of like self-righteousness from
Mhm,
trying to grow my
mhm.
faith, and just I just want to really focus on serving him and then serving others through that. But that's been the biggest challenge, I'd say, like fully doing it for him, like fully surrendering everything, fully doing it for him. And yeah. Next thing is next two topics, final two topics are verse we enjoy and then a faith resource like recommendation, like a channel, account, something like that.
Um, oh, me? Okay. Faith resource recommendation, the Bible Project. Um, it's an amazing resource. They do a very good job at explaining God's word concisely. They're not dragging it along simply and concisely to the point where it's very digestible. I know our attention spans are cooked as of late.
Appreciate you
Especially
saying R, not taking
yeah.
shots.
I know everybody has a little scroll break they like to take, but
But yeah, my screen
the
time.
videos, yeah, no. I think the videos are like maybe 8 minutes long. But yeah, I think 8 minutes long is like the longest one that I've watched. But yeah, so they go through all the books of the Bible very quickly. They also do like quick recaps of each book of how they um how they relate to the prior books that they have discussed. And I think it's a really fun and digestible way to learn God's words and just mainly like the stories of the Bible. And they also answer like faith-based questions that aren't like necessarily related directly to the Bible, but more related to how to live like Christ. So I think that's a really good resource. And my verse would be Ephesians 6:11, which is put on the whole armor of God so that you can stand against schemes of the devil. And I like that because it gives me something to like in my head, like imagine. Like I imagine like suiting up in like some godly armor and being protected, and it just um really makes me feel like comforted. Makes me feel comforted in this world, um, the devil's playground, and it just makes me really feel like I am walking with Christ and that He has my back, which ultimately lets me continue to have faith in Him and everything He has planned for me.
Love it.
I think for me, I'll do my verse first. James 1:2-4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of various kind, for you know your the test was it? Ooh, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. The
Are you
testing of
serious, man? No, I'm playing.
the testing of your faith is at hand, and it produces steadfastness. I think the
I love that
last like
verse.
two lines I botched it up a little bit, but um that,
I got the gist. I love that line.
yeah, that verse is
But
really big for me because
James, book of James as well so far. But sorry,
yeah,
keep going.
yeah.
No, Book of James
Um
is fire.
it's
But
funny
yeah.
because Saw pulls up to our church every now and then, and like the last 4 weeks we've been walking through the book of James. And so James has a lot to say to the church, and he has a lot to say about the body of Christ, and how we should be moving about. So it's been really helpful. And then as far as a resource goes, I think for the more it's gonna sound like really pretentious. I think for the more discerning Christian, there's a podcast.
Who do you think
You
you are?
know, for the
You
ones
sound
who the
prideful.
finer
Never mind.
spiritual things of this life. There's this podcast that I stumbled across. I think about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. It's a guy named Taylor Welch called The Deep End, and he grew up as he was like really a businessman, and he had a really big business front that he was managing and overseeing multiple projects and helping out multiple brands, and he kind of saw that it just wasn't as sustainable and fruitful without being led by Christ. And so he has a lot of uh and I say for the discerning Christian, because there are some things that I guess um the average Joe may just kind of be like, this isn't centered on Jesus. And it's like, yeah, it may not be centered on Jesus, but they're bringing up scripture that backs up their actual day-to-day walk in Christ. And they have um I think especially in the West, our perception on the spiritual side, on the mysticism side of Christianity, on the things that are unknown in the spiritual realm, which we obviously know there is because we have a spirit and the Lord moves through us and dwells in us as the Holy Spirit. Um, he has a lot of guests on that like kind of cater to that nature of thought. Like, for example, there is a spiritual gift of someone who is a seer who can see into the spiritual realm. And it is as physical as it is that you guys are on my computer screen right now. And hearing him talk, and you test those things, you test how these people are just by from what they're saying and their fruit that they show. But I found that more often than not, that podcast has been a great boost to my understanding of scripture and my understanding of applied scripture in a specified time period. You know, we're in modern times, so understanding like a lot of the lesser talked about things in church when it comes to the spiritual side of the spiritual battles that there constantly are in hand. And ultimately, like, does it encourage you? And it served to encourage me a lot. There's a lot of things that I meditate on that I've learned from that podcast. So it's called The Deep End with Taylor Welch.
Amazing. Great gems for me to check out too. Um, one I like is Colossians, a verse. Oh, I'll start. A verse I like is Colossians, chapter 3, verse 23. It says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters." Kind of touches on what I talked about early. You like that? Yeah, dude, it's fire. I found that randomly, like I forgot how I found it. I think like ironically, like another intern at like the company I worked at, like I forgot where I was looking. I saw that he had the verse somewhere, and I looked it up, and I was like, that's a really fire verse. And like I like put it as like a sticky note on my computer for a bit. Like I
Mm.
thought like it was like I don't know. It's a really good verse for like if you're not like motivated, like doing something. Like I said before, like if you're struggling to pull something out of you, like it gives you it gives you purpose to like everything. I feel
Mhm.
like knowing you're
Yeah.
serving God, doing something, even if it feels insignificant to you. So
Yeah.
that's a verse I really enjoy, and like I feel like you can apply in everyday. Oh gosh,
Liam, you're doing
well, that
so
didn't
well,
happen all.
dude.
That didn't happen all episode, but I guess I don't know. I'm not working hard enough that it happened. So yeah, but it can happen in everyday life. Um, lost my train of thought, but you get the gist. I talked about it
Yeah.
earlier on the
No, I
podcast.
think that's a great verse. That's something
Greater
that like
purpose.
my dad reminds me a lot because me and my dad work at the same place. We just work at different sides of the company. Um, and you know, honestly, at the company I work at, there's a lot of people that oversee stuff that are above me, and my managers and assistant managers and team leads and stuff. And like sometimes they can be very they can lack grace with you and they can lack kindness with you. And it's a good reminder that it's like, you know what, like I'm not working for these people in front of me that make it hard for me
Yeah.
to work for them. I am working to exemplify Christ through me at every given moment. So that was something that my dad reminded me of last week, actually. He sent that verse
Fire.
on the Bible app. Shouts out to Pop.
Fire. Shout out to your dad, man. That's fire. I love it. I love it. And then my faith resource, one I really love, it's been like the most active in my everyday life. Um, is this podcast I've sent you guys? It's called 10-Minute Bible Talks. And it's just like quick 10-minute episodes that you could listen to, like, like if you're on your way to work, or like I used to do it when I wasn't working in the summer. I would just listen to it on the way back from the gym or in the gym or stuff like that. Like it's so easy to just like weave into your day, and I just I love the points they drive home. Love the way they analyze, like the Bible and the Bible stories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they go into books like I don't know if I'd go and read like I think they're in Second Kings right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really love like they're able to really relate it to your everyday life super quick for like and like super doable for someone to just add to their daily life seamlessly. That's been huge for me, no doubt. They drop those Monday through Friday. Um, so but yeah, that's gonna do it for all of that. If you stuck around this far, thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. And first and foremost, like thank you to these guys for coming on. This was a blast. Um, Definitely, it's been a while since I recorded a podcast, so it was tough to like.
They do it
I
in
think just like adjust snaps. What are these
Korea.
snaps? I don't know.
In Korea, they do this because it represents an anatomical heart.
Oh, I appreciate.
And also the thumbs kind of make
Thanks,
a
bro.
little heart too.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. Learning something new every day. But yeah, this was a blast. I had trouble probably like I don't know if you're listening, look, I appreciate literally any feedback or questions, anything, hit me up. But, feedback super appreciated. It's been the first time I've done a podcast in a while. So it's like moderating it and like the flow of it felt different. But I was like these guys are awesome and we were able to have a fun episode, just have a fun time. So that's gonna do it for the first episode. Jason and Solomon, thank you for coming on and hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks
Peace.
for having me, Murph.
Appreciate it. Thank you.